So next, I want to hit with the DPS. Black Panther, I think is trash. I think he's trash, dude. Um, he's still good on paper, right? All my complaints with Black Panther, and I'm like, oh, Black Panther has a one shot, and that's not fair. And he, just him existing, means you have to not look at the fight as much. I think, and like you have to have util on standby just for this guy. Well, is still fair because of how bursty this game is. I think that's weird if the game's going to keep being this bursty and this explosive, then he needs to change or like have something better. Um sorry, there's a hair. Um but why would you play him when you could do the same thing on Daredevil or the same thing on Psylocke? Or I mean, even Spider-Man's better, but he's not by much. Like, but there's so many characters that you could do the same thing on that you do on Black Panther, and you draw things out where you peel off all their attention and all of their util, but they do it better and they get to contribute to the fight more after that. So I just don't think you should you should play one of them. I think Widow is also straight buns. Um, why can't she one shot but Hawkeye can? Why can Hawkeye one shot at any range once he charges it up? Because it only drops to 46. If he's not looking at anything within range, his charge will never drop below. It's either 46 or 42. Either way, it's enough to one shot a support at any range. I don't know why that is. It is. And Widow is still buns, even though we let that slide. That being said, I think Hawkeye's S tier. Because he doesn't even need a headshot. He two taps Rogue with headshots. If you hit a body shot, it's roughly a third of Rogue's health. It's roughly a third of Mag's health or Strange's health. Like, you don't even need to headshot with him. There was times where headshotting was like the only option. You needed to headshot to get value with Hawkeye, and he wasn't good because it was hard to consistently headshot. But on a character, not on a character, when people could, he was really good, cracked out of their minds because you were just losing half your health in an instant, and then it would happen again right as you start getting healed up. Now you don't even need to. Just constantly hit body shots, jump, hit a support in the body, they have to leave. They're almost dead. A body shot on a support, and I tested it out in the practice range before making this. A Hawkeye fully charged body shot on a support does the same amount of damage, roughly, as a Widow headshot. Huh? 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 It's just insane. I think Hela is S tier. She's not the GOAT or anything. I have never seen a Hela in my game, and when I do, it's not like she's constantly killing my entire team. Her team up is just really scary. The ability to have someone on your team who antis your entire team every 20 seconds and is also just a good pick in general, that's really scary. So you have to ban Hela because Hela's better than Namor, and the team up's insane. Which is why I think Hela is S tier. It's situational. Without that, I think I put her in A tier. But I think I'm going to include that. I think Iron Fist is A tier. He can tank bust. He has his block. He doesn't die. He can heal himself on off angles, so he doesn't have to run back to his team, which means he could come from literally anywhere after you get him to run away the first time. He can kill supports, and when he peels off the layer of util, he can run away and then come back. He can participate in the fight after tearing away that util from the supports. It's just good. Iron Man, same complaints as before. He's big, he's clunky, he flies around, but he's not super fast, right? He flies, and he has to like go straight forward. So sometimes he's really, really good, and sometimes he's not. He's just kind of situational. He doesn't do as much damage as the other DPS. It just is what it is. Magic is good. Always has a positive win rate. Always is viable. I'm going to put her there. She's always viable, but situational. Always winning. It's just, what are you playing? What are they playing? Can you even play Magic into that? Same thing with Penny and Rogue. I think situational. So, it is what it is. And I'm saying that too much. I'll stop saying that. Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's A tier, dude. He gets his ult so fast. He does so much damage. You can onk the backline, instantly delete people. You can farm ult off tanks, then drop ult, then onk the backline, and instantly kill 2 people. There's so many ways you can play Moon Knight, and he gets his ult so fast, and he does so much damage. If you need frontline pressure, he can do it. If you need backline pressure, he can do it. If you need off-angle pressure, he can do it. For the most part, he can counter dive, because the onk will CC them, and then, as long as they don't dash, as long as they don't leave, which is what an anti-dive is supposed to do, soft counter them, make them leave, get them to have to back out and wait for their cooldowns again. If they don't do that, they can die to Moon Knight, because he doesn't even have to aim at them. And then the supports are going to be patty caking anyways, so it just is what it is. Namor, I think, is B tier. He's a good pick. He's a solid pick. He's just not as strong as the other people. And, should have said this earlier, take the DPS with a grain of salt. It is my least. It's the role I perform the worst on. I am not as good on DPS as I am tank and support. I don't play it as much, so these are just based off what I've seen in my games, both on the enemies and on my teams, and what I've seen, like, on YouTube. Not clips, but high-ranking players. How they've played and how it ends up for them. So, Psylocke is still S tier, dude. They didn't fix the ult, they just made it harder to get, so even though she gets it slower, the gameplay loop is the same. Play Psylocke, spray off angles, use your shurikens to get a lot of damage, and then go ult the backline when you need to. Pick off kills as if you're Hela, and then you'll ult the backline. And now with the new team up with Cloak and Dagger, it does make Cloak and Dagger very useful, where I was saying she's not super useful. Now she is, because you play her with Hawkeye and Psylocke, and Hawkeye gets a vulnerability on everyone, and Psylocke gets a second invisibility, and not only is she invisible, she's not really invisible, she's faded, so she's intangible. No one can hit her. She could run through an entire stream of damage and not get touched. It's a little cuckoo crazy. I go crazy for Cocoa Puffs. But I think that was an unnecessary team up to give her. Wanda, I think, is C tier with Iron Man. She's better now. She's actually good. But what she's good at, you should play a different DPS. But at the same time, if you're forced to fill DPS, Wanda and Iron Man aren't awful choices. They can work. They're not bad. They have things that can be used to counter enemies. Like Iron Man can kill supports, so can Wanda. Wanda gets ult super fast, so even if you never get it off, you're constantly distracting them, constantly forcing them to use util to shut down your ult or they're gonna die. Like, it's pretty good. It's just, why would you play Wanda over these guys? Spider-Man is better than BP, but still just doesn't get the job done. There's no reason to play it, especially with how strong these two are and how strong these 3 are. Why would you play Spider-Man when you could play them? Because you're obviously mechanically skilled enough to hit at least 1 out of every 5 shots. Because he has 5 web traces, you gotta hit 1. So you could just play Psylocke or Hela. It's different because it's different, but like, you could do that. I think Squirrel Girl is B tier. I'll put her at top of C. She's just not useful. Same thing with Wanda and Iron Man. Why would you play her when you could play something else? She doesn't really have a niche. She doesn't fit anywhere which is useful outside of spamming around corners and making. You know what she's good at? You know what her niche is? Rage bait. I have been rage baited many a time by a Squirrel Girl when I'm on support or when I'm on tank. Just keep stunning the tanks. You'll rage bait them. Keep stunning the tanks and keep shooting the supports around corners and over the enemy team without looking at them. Yeah, you'll rage bait her. That's her niche. I found it. You're welcome, guys. I think Star-Lord's A tier. Like pseudo dive, he dives, he pokes, his E's really good. If you bubble him, he can extend. His teleporter back when he's playing with Rocket, and Rocket's good. Uh, he's good at everything, and he works in a lot of team comps. I don't think he's S tier though, because he's not like a lobby admin. He doesn't run the game. He doesn't change the way that the enemy team plays the game. So he's not that good. Storm, I think is B tier. It's weird because when the last time they buffed Storm, they buffed her damage boost to how it was Season 0 when she was a permaban. But because everything else in the game had been buffed so much in that time, it really didn't make a difference. I thought, oh my god, when I thought, oh my god, we were gonna have Season 0 again, where Storm's just damage boosting an Ultron. My worst nightmare would have been Storm damage boosting Ultron and Human Torch and just massacring your team. Speaking of which, I think that guy goes up there. At least they kept his skill ceiling there though, because I haven't seen many people do well on Torch in my ranks, and this is like Diamond, low GM. I haven't seen anyone do super well on Torch, but when you get a good one, they kind of get Togun the game sometimes, unless you go and just you have one person dedicate themselves to killing him every time he spawns. Every time he joins the fight, he's got to be the first one to die. Like the Hawkeye. If Hawkeye's on their team, you have to kill him. You have to pressure him now. It fundamentally changes the way that you play the game. Daredevil, also S tier. Still lobby admin. Still does what he needs to do. A lot of times, he can get a pick before you can even... If you're not paying attention, and you're this guy who's supposed to counter dive, or you're the support... if he catches you off guard, he will get a pick before you can counter him, before you can force him out, and that's always super useful. He's just really good. Banned almost every game though. So Punisher, I think Punisher's A tier. He's really good at sustained damage like Moon Knight, but he's not as good as Moon Knight because he can't do everything else that Moon Knight does. He just kind of sustains damage, picks off picks. Really good at diverting attentions when he's off angles, but Moon Knight does the same thing and gets more for it. Bucky, I think, is still S tier, but definitely not as good as the others. I'm going to do that. Not as good as the others. Still S tier. He's got a slowdown, a pull. The slowdown knocks you out of the sky. He can push you as well. That grounds you and prevents you from using other movement abilities. It's just insane. And it hurts my soul when Bucky's on the enemy team. If I'm playing tank and Bucky decides that he doesn't want me to have a good day, it hurts. It hurts, man. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Wolverine, I think is A tier. He's not exceptional. In some team comps, he's good. I really thought his buff would be better, but his buff really didn't do much for him. He's still the same old wolf that's there. He's more easily countered than he used to be because the things aren't connected. Mag's bubbles aren't the same. Groot can't be moved by force. Thor can change directions however he wants. He's really good. Venom could always escape. Angela could always escape. Cap could always escape. So all you best tanks in the game have a way of shutting down a wolf. So as long as you know and you're prepared for it, he's not really a problem anymore. But it does peel off a lot of tank util just for him being on the field, and he can still get pretty good damage out. So damage and frontline pressure, sometimes backline pressure if you play him right. So he's still pretty good, I would say. Mr. Fantastic. I'm putting Mr. Fantastic there, dude. I've seen people saying that he's really good, that he's much better, and I think I had him higher on my last tier list. He just doesn't do anything super well. He doesn't do a lot of damage. So why would you play him over the other DPS? Even over the other Brawl DPS, he doesn't do as much damage. He survives a really long time. He has great survivability, but he does not share that with his team. Like, if you're playing Mag, you have great survivability, and you can share that with your team, with a bubble for your teammate or a big shield for them. Strange, you have better survivability, and you can share that with your team. Your shield is bigger, you can shield them from more attacks. Emma, you can save that. You can save your team. You can get picks. Share your survivability with your team. Your E, you can knock people off divers. UCC, your shield you can place to help your teammates. Groot, you have walls to help your teammates. Great survivability. It's just he doesn't do the tank part really well. He doesn't do the DPS part really well, and so I never see him doing super well. Every now and then I see one that's popping off, but it's not very often at all. And so I don't really know what he's good at. Or maybe he's just so good that the people who play him are higher than me because they play him and they've mastered him, and because he's good right now, they've climbed easier. I don't know. But I have not seen very good Mr. Fantastics, and so I have to assume that that's just the average in my rank for a casual player. Phoenix, I'm putting an A. It's just like Hela, but less damage. It explodes, but Phoenix used to be better at close range, where Hela was better at long range, and that's still pretty much the same, but you can't burst on the melee anymore. And so I think it's fine that they patched out the Beyblade tech where you just spawn and you got like infinite things and your ult charge built super quickly. But to take out these adding sparks on the melee altogether is weird, because she doesn't feel like she has a niche anymore, other than breaking stuff, like breaking the squids and breaking the nests. She doesn't feel like she has a niche. That could just be me, though. I could just not see some very good ones anymore. I think Blade is bottom of A, top of B. His gun's really good, but his anti-heal kind of stun locks him. He can't really do much during or after. He has to wait to pull out the gun and then wait to do it. His ultimate is good situationally. I've only been killed by it, or like had a team wipe, or had multiple people die to the ult or because of the ult, like twice in a match. And in that game he used it 4 times, because it was only 4 times he could really use it without dying instantly. So yeah, I don't think he's bad. I just think they're buffing the wrong thing. His lifesteal lowering is really good, though, I will say. You have to actually think about killing him when he's on you, on the front line. He can now go harass frontliners much better. And I don't know if that's like the intention with that or what, but it was pretty good. Beep, 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 beep. Wet Willy.